In this in-depth exploration of one of the most enduring rivalries in comic book history, we dive into the technical nuances and narrative intricacies that define both Marvel and DC universes. Our journey begins by examining the evolution of storytelling in comics and the role these two giants have played in shaping popular culture while injecting groundbreaking scientific ideas and artistic innovations. This analysis is not just a superficial look. It is grounded in extensive research and fact-driven comparisons that appeal to those familiar with advanced comic lore. We will unpack the sophisticated layers of narrative architecture, character development, and thematic symbolism that underpin every storyline. The objective is to illuminate the subtle complexities behind familiar faces and iconic events, providing technical insights into combat strategies, universe-building mechanics, and audience psychology. Using precise numerical data and technical comparisons, we aim to quantify aspects such as narrative depth and storytelling effectiveness in each universe. Prepare for a relaxed, yet rigorous discussion that respects the legacy of comic traditions while embracing a modern perspective. Let us now begin our analysis with a detailed overview of the Marvel Universe and its systematic approach to character and story development. Let's explore these dimensions right. Marvel's universe stands as a milestone in the evolution of comic book storytelling, offering a complex and multifaceted narrative that resonates with expert-level audiences. Founded on the principles of human vulnerability and growth, Marvel's characters are intricately developed through personal tribulations, ethical dilemmas, and scientifically grounded narratives. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has amplified these themes by using state-of-the-art visual effects and carefully structured cinematic timelines that harmonize character arcs with large-scale events. Detailed statistical analyses reveal that Marvel's box office successes are driven by its strategic balance of character-driven motion and expansive storylines that interlace multiple plots across diverse franchises. Marvel employs a systematic approach in constructing its universe, combining meticulous character background research with technologically advanced narrative techniques. Each storyline is supported by continuity threads that run across various media, forming a coherent yet flexible structure that adapts to emerging fan theories and market trends. The integration of real-world scientific concepts, such as quantum physics and bioengineering, lends credibility to its fantastical elements and invites expert discussion about theoretical applications in actual science. Furthermore, Marvel's commitment to long-term character development is evident in the gradual escalation of narrative stakes, where early story arcs tie into major thematic developments and culminate in climactic events that utilize both statistical growth metrics and audience feedback data. Celebrated heroes such as Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America become the conduits through which social issues, technological advancements, and ethical responsibilities are explored. In-depth analyses of these characters reveal that their scientific backstories and personal struggles are supported by rigorous research and creative storytelling processes. Constant cross-referencing between comic issues and cinematic releases demonstrates Marvel's commitment to maintaining consistency and depth. In summary, Marvel's universe is a beacon of methodical storytelling that masterfully blends empirical data with imaginative creativity, offering a blueprint for modern narrative construction that is both compelling and intellectually robust. Furthermore, a deeper analysis reveals that Marvel integrates meta-narrative techniques and foreshadowing that have been substantiated by fan-based research studies and academic critiques. This layered construction boosts audience engagement and creates a dynamic, evolving universe that rewards careful examination in every aspect. DC Comics has long been revered for its mythic storytelling and iconic character portrayals, establishing a universe where larger-than-life figures are interwoven with deep narrative symbolism. Built on a foundation that often embraces darker, more introspective themes, DC's universe is known for its exploration of moral absolutes and existential dilemmas. The transition from comic panels to high-budget films and animated series has translated these philosophical questions into striking visual narratives. Rigorous, fact-based analyses have shown that DC's approach to character mythology and universe building is supported by carefully orchestrated plot devices and sophisticated storytelling techniques that merge archetypal storytelling with modern cinematic technology. The DC universe is characterized by its structured continuity and interlinked story arcs that often tackle themes of power, corruption, and redemption. Advanced statistical analysis of comic releases and box office data reveals that DC leverages a dramatic tonal shift as part of its narrative framework, emphasizing the eternal battle between hope and despair. Its characters, including Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, are not merely symbols of strength, but embodiments of timeless virtues and human struggles, scrutinized by expert critics for their depth and philosophical resonance. The interplay between myth and reality is evident in each character's origin story, where legendary elements coexist with personal tragedies and ethical conflicts. A focused examination of DC's narrative methodology shows that the brand employs a refined balance between fantastical elements and gritty realism, creating dramatic tension that drives both fan engagement and scholarly debate. By integrating historical mythos with contemporary social commentary, DC crafts a universe that is both a reflection of societal ideals and a canvas for exploring timeless dilemmas. This fusion has made DC a subject of rigorous academic study and an enduring source of inspiration for experts and enthusiasts alike. Moreover, quantitative studies in narrative theory support that DC's storytelling incorporates advanced narrative structures and layered mythologies that foster critical examination among scholars. Its deliberate pacing and mathematically modeled plot developments allow fans to explore deep semiotic frameworks and complex symbolism. This detailed approach continues to redefine the conventions of the superhero genre, elevating narratives to new heights. Examining the heroes from both Marvel and DC reveals distinct narrative and technical frameworks that have influenced the comic book industry. In Marvel's lineup, characters such as Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America are defined not only by their superhuman abilities, but by their nuanced humanity. Spider-Man's agility and scientific aptitude complement his internal conflicts, while Iron Man's technological innovations underscore a reliance on engineering prowess and complex ethical decision-making. Captain America exemplifies leadership through a blend of personal integrity and tactical acumen, reflecting modern interpretations of classical heroism. In contrast, DC's roster is anchored by iconic figures like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, who represent idealized forms of power and moral certainty. Superman's near-perfection and extraterrestrial origin imbue him with symbolic significance as a paragon of hope. Conversely, Batman's reliance on intellect, detective skills, and technological gadgets underscores a human response to overwhelming adversity, rooted in psychological depth and personal loss. Wonder Woman's mythological background and warrior spirit bridges the gap between divine authority and mortal emotion, offering a narrative that combines empowerment with historical myth. A detailed analysis reveals that Marvel's heroes often operate within environments that emphasize interconnected storylines and continuous personal evolution. Their character arcs are supported by data-driven research, allowing creators to fine-tune narrative pacing and conflict resolution techniques. Quantitative metrics, such as character screen time and narrative impact scores, demonstrate that Marvel frequently adapts its heroes through layered developments that mirror real-world challenges. This approach has been underpinned by extensive collaborations between writers, scientists, and digital artists who incorporate audience feedback and statistical models to forecast character growth trajectories. DC's heroes, on the other hand, are frequently depicted as mythic figures, encapsulating archetypal virtues that have been scrutinized in both literary and cinematic analyses. Their narratives are characterized by a balance of static idealism and evolving personal struggles, creating a dual framework of fantasy and realism. For instance, Superman's narrative optimizes his role as both an unerring protector and a complex figure grappling with isolation from humanity. Batman's stories, heavily influenced by noir aesthetics and psychological theories, showcase his struggles with moral ambiguity and vengeance, which are often supported by commentary on behavioral psychology. Wonder Woman's tales integrate cultural anthropology and feminist theory, creating a multi-dimensional character whose strengths are both physically demonstrable and metaphorically profound. Technical comparisons highlight that Marvel tends to quantify character progression through direct metrics and feedback loops, a methodology that appeals to analytical audiences. In contrast, DC's approach frequently employs qualitative methods, using symbolism, thematic resonance, and mythological frameworks to establish a layered narrative structure. Both universes have developed sophisticated methods of balancing action sequences with deep character introspection, yet they diverge in their reliance on empirical data versus allegorical storytelling. While Marvel's integration of scientific principles and measurable growth metrics offers clear parameters for character development, DC's emphasis on emotional and mythic arcs invites analytical frameworks from literary theory. These comparisons also extend to combat abilities and team dynamics. Marvel heroes often engage in collaborative battles supported by strategic simulations and advanced technology, while DC characters typically showcase individual heroics that symbolize broader ideological battles. This divergence in approach contributes to the distinctive narratives that are both celebrated and critically analyzed by experts. Ultimately, the technical and numerical evaluation of these characters not only highlights their individual distinctions, but also underlines the foundational philosophies that drive each universe's storytelling. By scrutinizing the statistical data behind character interactions and narrative progression, we observe that both Marvel and DC have established enduring templates that continue to influence modern comic theory and practice. World building in both Marvel and DC universes employs advanced narrative techniques and elaborate schematic designs that appeal to aficionados and scholars. Marvel constructs its universe as an interconnected web of stories, meticulously engineered to allow crossovers and layered subplots. Detailed timelines, narrative nodes, and mathematical models underpin the seemingly organic growth of its storytelling, with each comic issue and cinematic installment contributing to an expanding dataset that is constantly analyzed through modern statistical methods. These techniques ensure that character histories and universe-wide events are cohesively aligned, forming graphs of narrative interdependence that are as precise as scientific experiments. In contrast, DC embraces a more mythic and archetypal form of world-building. Its universes are often compartmentalized into distinct epochs and parallel dimensions, each operating with its own internal logic and set of rules. Through structured continuity and deliberate resets, such as those seen in major events like Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC creates a narrative landscape where historical mythos and futuristic visions coexist. Scholarly critiques note that DC's narrative structure is heavily influenced by classical literature and philosophical treatises, lending a timeless quality to its story arcs. Both approaches incorporate detailed world-building, yet they differ in execution. Marvel's universe often relies on the accumulation of empirical data, with recurring motifs and statistical analysis guiding future developments. DC, on the other hand, leverages narrative symbolism and metaphorical constructs to engage the audience on a deeper, more introspective level. Expert analyses suggest that Marvel's method offers a pragmatic model of narrative progression, while DC's architecture fosters a surreal and evocative storytelling environment that challenges traditional linear plots. Furthermore, both universes have experienced significant narrative evolutions over decades, adapting to cultural shifts and technological advancements. The evolution in Marvel's world-building demonstrates a progressive alignment with real-world scientific discoveries and data analytics, whereas DC's transformations reflect an ongoing dialogue between modern reinterpretations and classical mythologies. This comprehensive integration of dynamic plot structures, detailed character backstories, and evolving continuity not only enriches both storytelling frameworks, but also sets a benchmark for future innovations in the comic book genre. Ultimately, both Marvel and DC demonstrate that effective world-building is not merely about detailed settings, but about creating immersive, evolving ecosystems that resonate with technical precision and artistic innovation. This deliberate design transforms comics into complex, dynamic narratives and inspire fans. Both Marvel and DC have cultivated passionate fan bases that significantly influence their creative directions and cultural footprints. Extensive data analyses demonstrate that passionate online communities, fan conventions, and social media interactions have become essential components in shaping the narratives and marketing strategies of these comic giants. Fans actively participate in debates and discussions, contributing detailed theories and quantitative metrics that sometimes inform official storylines and character developments. Cultural influence extends beyond merchandise and box office numbers. It permeates academic discourse and inspires technological innovations in media production. Researchers have documented how fan-driven trends contribute to evolving narrative styles and even impact the scientific community's perspective on futuristic technologies. These shifts are supported by statistical studies and media analyses which show measurable correlations between fan engagement and narrative evolution. The cyclical nature of fan influence ensures that both Marvel and DC continuously adapt to changing audience expectations while honoring their rich legacies. Through dynamic, transparent feedback loops, creators and critics alike are challenged to reconcile commercial success with narrative integrity. This symbiosis of fan culture and institutional storytelling serves as a blueprint for cultural innovation within the comic book industry. Such robust engagement continues to redefine industry standards globally remarkably. Imagining a crossover battle scenario between Marvel and DC heroes invites a rigorous analysis of their respective strategic advantages, technical capabilities, and collaborative dynamics. In a hypothetical confrontation, team-based strategies from Marvel would likely leverage high-tech communication networks, real-time statistical simulations, and integrated combat algorithms. For instance, coordinated attacks that rely on precise timing and numerical probabilities could optimize the strengths of characters like Iron Man and Captain America, whose tactical planning is supported by advanced data analysis. On the opposing side, DC's heroes bring a blend of mythic power and intuitive combat prowess. Superman's invulnerability and heat vision, when combined with Batman's unparalleled detective skills and innovative gadgets, create scenarios where traditional brute force encounters are tempered by analytical foresight. Wonder Woman and her compatriots similarly contribute with strategic combat experience rooted in centuries of mythological evolution. Experts argue that the juxtaposition of Marvel's empirical methodologies and DC's allegorical prowess would result in a multidimensional battle that tests both quantitative metrics and qualitative narrative factors. Evaluating the environmental context is essential, as terrain, situational variables, and fan-anticipated plot twists all affect potential outcomes. A mathematically modeled simulation might reveal that Marvel's collaborative efficiency counters DC's individual dominance, yet the narrative symbolism inherent in DC's heroes can tip the scales during critical moments. The discussion extends beyond mere physical prowess to examine the interplay of technological enhancements, statistical growth, and mythic resilience. In the end, while numerical analyses might suggest a marginal advantage for the structured strategy of Marvel teams, the unpredictable elements of storytelling and character development in DC's universe leave room for alternative outcomes. Essentially, this analysis underscores that any victorious scenario is as much a product of narrative design as it is of raw, measurable power. In conclusion, our deep dive into both Marvel and DC reveals a multi-layered world of strategic storytelling, technical ingenuity, and mythic foundations. Through a fact-based analysis involving quantitative metrics, narrative architecture, and cultural impact data, we have observed that each universe excels in different but equally compelling ways. Marvel's reliance on empirical data and systematic character development contrasts with DC's focus on timeless symbolism and layered mythologies. Both approaches have fueled enduring fan engagement and cultural dialogues, while continually challenging traditional boundaries of comic storytelling. This comparative analysis demonstrates that the ultimate outcome of any theoretical battle depends not solely on measurable power, but also on narrative design and artistic vision. As our analysis shows, both universes offer valuable insights and rich legacies, inviting experts and enthusiasts to appreciate the complexity and innovation that have shaped modern comic theory.